Are you?
This episode 7 is gonna be massive, with lots and lots of parts being installed. So here's what we will do today. A new stronger handlebar to replace the stock steel one. Heated grips that are sorely missed here in Finland, as you can see from my clothing. New clutch and brake levers, because the stock ones are way too long and I don't like that personally. New mirrors. The stock mirrors are good, but I would eventually break them off-roading this bike. A throttle lock to ease the pain on my wrist in long journeys, because the actual cruise control is not available for this bike, unfortunately. Hand guards for protection, of course. New adjustable footpegs, because I really dislike these stock footpegs. They are way too small and the position is not good. I will have timestamps for everything, so you can pick and choose what interests you. But if you like to support the channel, watch the full video. Oh, shut up. Let's get to work. Because I'm also installing the grip heaters, we need to strip the bike of its plastics. This stock bar is way too short for my liking, so let's take it off the bike and replace it with this about 6 centimeters longer RENTHAL aluminium unit. Reason for picking the stock grip heaters is simply the design. This one button setup doesn't take any space from the handlebar and looks very clean. Kaoko throttle lock with the Barkbusters bar weights is a perfect fit. Looks like factory design, which I absolutely love. Thanks Kaoko for helping me pick the right products for this one. The quality of these Puig short levers is absolutely insane. They feel like operating a well-oiled Swiss watch. The stock footrest situation on the NX is pretty sad for off-road use, and I'm not a big fan of their precision on the bike. I decided to fix this by purchasing the SW-Motech Evo footrest kit that can be freely adjusted. This rotational puck is adjustable in all directions and makes sure that I can get a good position on the bike. These pegs are also much longer, so the platform is a lot more stable. I always leave some slack to the heated grips cable here, because if your grip happens to turn while you ride or while you lift your bike up, this slack is going to prevent the cable from being ripped out of the handle here, which is going to be a big problem. So always leave some slack here. Now I know that this can turn quite a lot and there's still cable there to give out, so it's not too tight. Also, if you want to change the position of these controls at some point, you don't have to strip everything again and give some slack all the way from the beginning. You have it here already, so that's a top tip. I went with Barkbusters white motocross plastics to fit the white NX perfectly. These mirrors were waitlisted for the whole winter, but as far as I'm concerned, the wait was fully worth it. Big thanks to Robert Baldinger for recommending these units for me last year. These things are machined so perfectly, I kinda feel bad installing them to an off-road machine. Overall, I would say these items are a tasty upgrade for the NX500 project. Everyone is probably interested in how they actually change the bike. So let's take our first ever video test ride with the NX. So we can talk a bit about the mods we have already done to the bike and maybe some upcoming episodes that are on the works. Alright, let's put the heated grips running. One press and it's full power, which I'm gonna need because it's like 3 degrees Celsius here at the moment. So let's start riding. I don't have any bullet points or any idea what I'm gonna say, because I thought it's probably more realistic if I just tell you the feeling that I have from the bike now with the newest changes and the previous changes as well, including the rally race suspension stuff and everything that we have done so far to this bike. This is far from ready at the moment, but we have done a lot already, so it's gonna be interesting, just like a mid-term test, how the bike is actually acting up and is everything working as it's supposed to, and do I like the modifications so far. Let's put the Kaoko to the test and see. I'm of course gonna need some getting used to this throttle lock system because I have never used this before. I guess when you set it up, you are in control of the throttle, so you can lower it down a little bit and try to find the right spot. So now you can see that I'm riding without my hands, and the Kaoko throttle lock is taking care of speed. So if I go too fast, I can always touch the throttle a little bit and pull it back just a notch. And you kind of have to fiddle around a little bit to find the right spot, I think. But once you find it, at least in this kind of flat ground, it should be okay, and it should keep you relatively stable when it comes to speed. Alright, that's it about the Kaoko. Let's talk about the riding position. Well, in very short terms, it's absolutely fantastic. Many of the issues that I have with the NX are now fixed with these small little upgrades, and I have to say that the bike feels much better than I even anticipated. I wasn't expecting the change to be this drastic, but it definitely is. It is a huge difference. Especially, let's talk about the biggest one, which is the handlebar now. This handlebar absolutely opens up the cockpit on this NX500. It doesn't feel anymore. It doesn't feel small anymore like it used to. It used to feel like a kind of tiny, this bike, like a moped almost. I know I'm gonna get some angry comments from that for that comment, but it was small. It was feeling a little cramped, and now with this new handlebar, which is much wider, I get a much more aggressive stance, which I absolutely prefer. Also, this has maybe a little bit less sweep, so the handlebar is a little further away from me, and I definitely like that. I get a lot better position on this bike now. Absolutely fantastic. And the same thing can be said with the standing position. Now I can get a real commanding stance on this bike, and oh wow, this is fantastic. This is actually really close to, I might even say, is this the best ergonomy for myself on any bike that I've ever ridden? Oh, it is close. I would say it might actually be the best bike, even better than the Touareg. Absolutely fantastic position on this bike now, and the Footpegs really do help. It's not only the bar change, but I would say the bar change is the biggest one, but the Footpegs is really close second, because I could position them a little bit lower on the bike and also a little bit further forward, maybe a 1 centimeter or so, so 10 mils, so not much, but even that little change made a drastic difference in my standing position here. The bar is a tiny bit higher now, and my footrests are much more stable. I have more room to plant my feet on these SW-Motech Footpegs, and I can't see anything. And now the standing position is absolutely great. I can stand here straight, which I do sometimes when I try to rest my ass or my feet when I'm riding long distances, but I can also take a very commanding position on the bike, like an enduro stance, and it's absolutely perfect. This now feels like a glove to me. Oh, it's a joy to ride. When you get your ergonomy on the bike just so, you can just feel it. It's like putting on a shoe that is absolutely perfect to your feet. It's a joy. It's absolutely a joy. As you probably see from the video, I still have the stock tires on the bike, so I'm not doing anything crazy here because it's wet and slippery still in Finland, because we might still actually see snow here. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's been melting, so this is a muddy mess, this road. So I have to take it a little bit easy, especially these shady sections here. But yeah, the ergonomy is finally starting to be there, and I can't believe how well it suits me. I didn't have to do any adjustments. I just hunched it in the garage, and it's perfect. I wouldn't change anything. But then I have to say a couple things about ergonomy that are still not perfect. Gear lever precision, I don't like. It doesn't come far enough above my foot peg, and I feel like I have a little bit hard time to change gears, especially when I use my Tech 7 boots. Right now I have this soft adventure boots, so these are fine, but the Tech 7s are a little bit different story. But I can still ride the bike, but I kind of have to use the side of the boot to change the gear up. So I would probably be inclined to change that gear lever at some point, but it's rideable right now. But we might do something about that later. If you have any suggestions for the gear lever solution, put it in the comments. So Footpegs, absolute 10 out of 10. Handlebar, 11 out of 10. Absolute. This is the best handlebar I could have picked for this bike. And thank you Rally Raid for providing the handlebar for me. I paid for it for my own money, but I got a small discount for it. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing. This handlebar is 10 out of 10 for this bike. And I am still getting used to this bike, especially with these tires. They're so slippery. As you can see, I kind of slow down on those wet sections because I don't trust them. Even though I was a little bit worried about the rear spring, especially because I picked the hardest one. But I'm not really worried anymore. Even though I don't have any luggage on the bike, it doesn't feel like it's rock solid. It does feel stiff, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't feel like, how do I say, it doesn't feel unstable or like it's cracking my spine all the time. It still takes in the bumps pretty well, and it gives a decent amount of feel. I prefer this kind of a slightly stiffer feel from the back end. And one thing that is probably beneficial is that the shock itself is really high quality. It has the whole high and low speed compression settings and everything, so it's a really good unit. The tire episode is coming soon, so I will be able to change a lot better gnarly rubber for this bike. I already bought it, and there's some pictures in Instagram, I think. A couple episodes maybe from now, or maybe even the next episode is the Rally Raid. Some more Rally Raid stuff and better tires for this bike. And after we get the tires installed, that's when I can really ring this bike up and start taking advantage of all the modifications that I've done, especially the suspension. I can't really test out the suspension's limits much because the tires are just limiting me so much here. But yeah, what else? What am I forgetting to say? Oh yeah, these short levers from Puig. I do like them. They are not as short as I thought they might be, but they are a two-finger operation, definitely. I can use these with 2 fingers all day long. And because the NX500 clutch is so light, I have no issues using the clutch just with my two of my fingers. Oh yeah. I actually, after these ergonomy updates that I did to this bike, first time I'm starting to have some confidence that this NX500 was actually a good choice. I was very hesitant because you never know really. You buy a bike that is so far from what you want and start doing this kind of a crazy build. You never actually know what it's gonna be like after you do all the changes. But right now with the Rally Raid suspension, with these ergonomy updates, I have to say that this bike is starting to come alive, and I can already feel what it's gonna be when I have all the crucial episodes done
I have some very interesting power mods coming to this bike if we can get them to work, but that is still work in progress. So some of the episodes I can't reveal yet what they are because I'm not sure if I can get them to work. But I am gonna bring some really interesting NX content to this channel, so you better subscribe if you wanna see that and don't wanna miss any episodes on this build. It's gonna be insane and really interesting and especially fun because I want this channel to be fun. But yeah, this bike is starting to feel like an absolute joy. And the mirrors, they are a pricey unit, those mirrors, but I have to say the quality of the finishing and all this adjustment and everything here, it is rock solid. Definitely a good set of mirrors. Robert recommended them to me and said that he has fallen with these Tenere many times with these mirrors without any issues. So I can trust that these are a good item to recommend if you want to get something like this. The position on these mirrors is not perfect like at the moment, but I can still adjust them, I can raise them, I can get a better position on them. Because right now I can maybe see half of the mirror what's behind me, so they do work, but I need to adjust them a little bit to get a better view to behind. But I have to say they don't really vibrate much at all, so the view from them is very clear, so that's really nice because I have small mirrors on the CRF and I can barely see anything from them. But these are a totally different story. These are a very usable mirror. And I can also turn them the other way around, so the small bit here is to the left side, and that's you can get a lot better view behind like that. But of course then they are not as protected as they are right now. That's it for this quick little test ride. If I forget to mention something, just put it in the comments, ask it, I will answer. And I hope to see you on the next episodes as well. Keep on watching, some very interesting things are coming really soon. So see you next time. Bye.